good evening, and welcome to Fashion's Finest Africa, the chat room. Once again, we have got a great evening lined up for you with an amazing guest. Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all. Hope you've been having a great day. Wow. Give me 1 second. I've just got to sort something out very quick. I'll be right back. See my magic trick. 1 second I was here, next week was gone, then I was back again. Well, we've got a great evening lined up for you today. We're going to have Style Territory. I bet most of you don't even know Style Territory's real name. I bet you don't. Everybody else calls us Style Territory. That's who we're going to have on the show. Let's start getting our introductions out of the way so that we are ready to go as soon as Teni comes on board. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Shola Yebade, aka Mr. Mahogany, and you're welcome to Fashion's Finest Africa, the chat room. And the chat room, just in case you don't know about it, is a weekly interactive talk show brought to you by Fashion's Finest Africa, the leading platform in Africa for everything fashion. We do fashion shows, events, everything like that. So Fashion's Finest Africa is a platform that celebrates new and emerging fashion designers and creatives. We're all about celebrating fashionpreneurs and fashionistas from all over the world. We're going to have our blog coming out soon, fashion blog. It's amazing. I'm sure if you've been following us, you'll see the sort of stuff that we've been doing. Style Territories, come on board. We're going to be joining her in a few seconds. So the show focuses on everything fashion, beauty, entertainment related, and we'll be bringing you top fashionistas like Style Territories, celebrities, superstars from across Africa to talk to you and for you to get an insight about what life is really like for them. Very interactive, guys, so we do need your feedback, we do need your questions, we do want your comments. We'll be taking them throughout the show, so please start getting them ready, please start sending them in. We're just waiting for Teni of Style Territory to join us. I can see she's online. I'm just waiting for her to send in her request so that we can get up and running and have a great show for you lined up. Trust me, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be very exciting. If you just don't know what the topic is that we've got for today, the topic is breaking into the fashion industry as a millennial. I mean, we've had a variety of guests. We've got people that have had years and years of experience. This time we're bringing in one of our youngest guests to date, and we want her to talk about what it's really like for young people, what are the sort of things that young people have to contend with, and so on and so forth, to make it within the industry. So bring her on. I mean, I just love her. Everything about her is just so cool. You know, just how she carries herself, how she dresses. I really wish that I had some style. You know, I'm just such a plain OJ. Wow, there she is, Teni of Style Territory. How you doing, Teni?
I'm really good, thank you. It's so good to be here.
Yes. That's what I like to hear. We love
I like
having you
seeing
here.
you as well, sir. How have you been? How are you holding up?
Making me blush. What did you say? I'm hoping we're not going to have internet problems throughout. What did you say? Sorry, your internet's going in and out. Right. Okay. Yeah, try and increase me and let's see if can you hear me clearly? No, you're kind of like you're swimming underwater, like you just went for deep sea diving. Everybody else, can you hear her? Please let us know if you can hear Teni so that we can continue. Because if you can hear her, then that's fine. But we're struggling to hear you. Your thing keeps freezing.
Can you hear me?
So at the moment, we just have a static picture of you. We can't even see you. We're just there, static. No, people are saying that there's no sound. Can you guys hear me? Okay, you can't hear her. We can't hear her. Yes, Teni, we can't hear you. If you can hear me, we can't hear you. Okay, so try. Are you? Yeah, let's try that. Are you using your phone connection or you're using a Wi-Fi connection? Okay, let's take her off and hopefully she can come back on. That means it's not from my end. So I'm praying. Last week, we had a lot of problems last week. We cannot have it again this week. If we have it again this week, Wari, my producer, I'm blaming you. You know I blame you for everything because why are we having internet problems? You need your prayer warrior stuff is not enough. So you better go and do some more prayer warrior stuff. So, but Star Territory is going to come back on in a second. Hopefully, she can sort out her internet connection. One of the things I realized sometimes is actually better to do this from your phone, but it also depends on your network and what mood that they're in. So, we're going to try her again now. Let's see if we can get a better connection and that it will last throughout the whole of the session. It's going to be quite frustrating as she gets into it because Teni is boisterous. Hi, Teni, how you doing?
Hey, Uncle. I'm back.
You're back. Yes, we can hear you now. So let's hope for the next 1 hour it's going to stay like this. Yes. It is so good. Can everybody see her clearly? Otherwise, I think you might want
Can you guys see me?
Camera a bit closer because you seem a little bit distant.
Oh, closer. Okay.
Yeah, so we got a fuller picture. We want to see your fine face now. Don't be hiding it now. Please.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't come to see me. It's you they came to see. So we need to have you. How you been, by the way? How you been?
I've been really good. Thank God. I've been holding up. It's been crazy, like the pandemic and everything. Like the world was literally upside down. But I'm really happy that we're getting back on our feet. It's been good. I thank God. You don't look like there was a pandemic.
I don't look like there's a pandemic.
Like there was a yeah, you look.
Okay, let me tell you how you can tell if there's a pandemic. Yes, call my bank manager and see you're calling on my behalf, and you will not answer your phone. You will put the phone down. So that poor church rat. I beg, please leave me to talk to my better customers. Then you will know that there was pandemic. When
I know, right?
You can be in a negative. That's what I'm in. Negative at the moment.
It's everybody, your uncle. It's everyone.
It's serious. Okay, so let's get into this. Teni, as I always like to do, I like to introduce my guests so that everybody has an idea of who you are. All right. So Teni Oluwo is a style enthusiast, fashion stylist, international fashion journalist, writer, and TV producer. See all of these accolades she has. She's the CEO of Style Territory, which, as we all know, is a creative fashion styling business. Teni is a millennial that has refused to hide her passion and her sense of style. So it's no surprise to us that her work has been featured in Vogue Italia, not once, guys, but twice. Please, everybody, welcome and big up Teni of Style Territory.
Hey, come on!
Round of applause. Good.
Oh my gosh.
God, your achievement.
Oh, thank you. That was quite an introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We haven't even said enough. We know that when you went to Bling Negotiation, you won the prize as the most stylish person at the premiere. Am I right? I can't remember what the actual title was, but for your dress,
alongside Dala.
Exactly. You won. How much did you win? I know you won a lot of money. Because if
500,000.
500,000.
So we won 500,000 it was
You
my
see why it
friend.
is good to dress well. If you
It's
dress well
Uncle,
now, you
it's
can win
so
money.
good to
Oh.
dress well. It's so good to
Yes, it
dress
is.
well. Like dressing well will open doors you didn't even think you want to enter. It's so good to dress well. That's something I'll pass on to my kids. Like you have to dress well, you know. And I'm so happy to be talking about how to get started in the industry, because when people see you getting dressed up, posting pictures, they think it's all like glitz and glam. They think it's
That's
so
right.
easy, like, oh, you're just balling, you know. But it takes a whole lot. Like you have to be mentally stable, because it's a lot. It's like it's a whole lot. But I'm not gonna jump the gun. I'm gonna wait for you to like
We're
start
going to
off.
talk you about those things. Don't trust me. We're going to talk you about those because that's what the
Right.
young people, particularly that are listening here, want to hear. Because a lot of young people feel that there's no future for them in Nigeria, and that's not true. There's people like you. There's people like Style Infidel. There's other young
Infidel,
people out there
who I
that are
love.
out doing things at a young age, building big, strong businesses and doing brilliantly well. But let's take it through a little bit, and then I'm sure people are going to ask us questions. So my first question to you is this, all right? You describe yourself as a non-conformist. What do you
Yes.
mean by that? Why do you describe yourself that way?
I don't fit into any box. Like boxes are not meant for me. Like if there's a box, you're gonna find me breaking it. You cannot constrict me, you cannot put me in the box, you cannot. I'm just free. You know, I'm free. I don't follow rules. I break rules. I make my own rules. I build my own table. Like I don't wait for anything to be handed over to me, and I don't follow what has been put down. I build my own thing all the time, and I think and it's effortless. Like that is how I flow, you know. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, because sometimes people think, oh, you're just doing it for clout, like you just want to be different for attention. But I was made different, you know. God created me differently, and I feel like everybody is that way. We just have to tap into it. We just have to be bold enough to be that way, because God did not create anyone the same. God made us in his likeness, and God is one of a kind, so that we're one of a kind as well. So we just have to be brave enough to like embrace it. And yeah, so that's where I got it from, like from God.
So,
God is
so when you
different.
say that you're a non-conformist, okay, this is Nigeria. We're not the most liberal of societies. How does that affect you being a non-conformist in Nigeria?
I don't, it's not about where I am, it's about who I am. You know, where I am doesn't dictate how I'm going to function. What dictates how I'm going to function is who I am. I am Teni Oluwo, I am Stout Territory. Period. It doesn't matter if I'm in Nigeria or New York or London. This is who I am. I understand that a lot of Nigeria, they're catching on though, but I've always been like this. Just imagine like 10 years ago, like people will literally see me and laugh. People will literally abuse me to my face. People will call me a masquerade. People will say, I really, you know, and stuff like that. But I really don't care, because I know I'm not like, that is me. I'm not gonna bend me to make you comfortable. Like you need to adjust. If you're not comfortable with it, like that's your business, you know. So that's just how it's been. And that's what everyone needs to understand. Like you can't continue to bend yourself to fit into what the society would accept or understand. Like there's a reason you're the way you are. So yes, that's
Okay, so
basically it.
tell us this. Okay, what a lot of people want to know, because we want the real truth from you. People want to learn from you. All right.
Right.
How did you get started in the business? Did you always know you were going to be a stylist? Give us some background into
Okay.
how you got
I
into it.
said this in all my interviews. I'm a very spiritual person, and
Okay.
I believe in being alignment with God. I believe in God's grace. I believe in God's favor. I didn't even know there was anything called a fashion stylist till
Okay.
till I was on my first job, you know. And I remember I didn't have a job, I didn't have a direction in life. Basically, I didn't know. I just knew that I loved fashion, and I would always do like research and stuff like that. But I didn't know like all my options. So I finally moved to Lagos, and I remember one day I was crying in my room because I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like basically I didn't have a job, nothing. So I just prayed and cried and prayed, and someone called my sister. Someone I don't even remember how I know her. She called my sister and she told my sister a job was like employing, like there was an opening and everything. And I was like, okay, let me just go for the experience because I've never worked anywhere. Like, I know they can't choose me because I don't have any experience. Like, let me just go. So I went there, and there were people with 7 years experience, 5 years experience, and so on. And because I thought they weren't going to pick me, I wasn't scared. I was just myself. I just spoke like myself. Like, I was ready because all my life I've been ready. Like, this is my passion. This is fashion. I breathe fashion. So 3 days after that day, they called me back. So I was like, pata pata, like at most, I'm going to be an intern. Like, pata pata. So they called me, and they called me back, and they said I was going to be the fashion editor, which was like the highest. And the magazine was from Mona Lisa Chinda, so it was not a small thing, you know. It was meant to be like an international magazine. So me, that I came from nowhere with no fashion like background, with no job experience, I was the fashion editor, you know. My passion put me there. And that was where I learned that, okay, this thing I'm doing is actually being a fashion stylist. That's what I learned. That was the first time I heard the word fashion stylist. So that's how I became a fashion stylist, on the job. And I would always say this, it is God's grace. Like God's grace it has, I don't even know, it has made me who I am. It has opened every door I've walked into. Yeah. But something I would like to add, before that time, like I was ready. I wasn't empty. I was always filling up myself, doing my research, knowing my craft. Even if I didn't completely understand, I wasn't like completely ignorant. Yeah, so that's what I just like to tell people. Like a champion was not made in the ring. A champion was discovered in the ring. So you always have to be ready. Like you always have to invest in yourself.
But I think one of the key things that you're saying here to the people that are listening and are watching again later is that knowledge is important. It's very important that whatever you're into, you go and discover as much information as you can about it. So that when you got into this situation, this is what helped you. Even though you had never done it, you went in there, but you knew everything about fashion and about what was going on in the industry. So you spoke from the heart. And even though you didn't have the experience, that knowledge was good enough. Is that right? Is that what?
Yes. And you have to stay prepared, because you don't know where or when your opportunity is gonna come up. So you have to stay prepared. You can't say, oh, please wait, let me quickly go on. No, like you just have to stay prepared, and you have to keep investing in yourself, and you have to believe in yourself as well. Like no matter, even if you haven't done it before, you have to walk in with confidence, like you own the world. Even if you don't have 10 kobo in your account, like you just have to like place yourself like you own the world, you know?
Very true. And I mean, people need to listen to that. I mean, I kind of mentor or work with a lot of young people. In fact, with my industry, I work with a lot of people. And I'm always trying to get them out of this negativity where people say, oh, this Nigeria is useless, this Nigeria is that. The actual truth of the matter is the opportunities in Nigeria, and unfortunately people don't know it because maybe they haven't lived abroad or worked abroad. The opportunities in Nigeria as a Black person are second to none. You just got to put in effort. You've got to look for the opportunities. We don't get these opportunities when you live abroad. I lived abroad for years. I know what it's like. They were not there. When you do get there, there's a glass ceiling which stops you from going any higher. You can see the top, but you will never get there. So, as a stylist, you're very bold about your inspirations and your expression. Yeah. What kind of reception does your style receive? And I'm not just talking about within the fashion industry, but I'm also talking about from the general public. Are you seeing like a Derele 2.0, or are you just seeing as yourself? How are you seen? How are you perceived?
Okay, so the first thing is people would carry you how you carry yourself. And
Okay, very true.
as the years go by, that's what I've come to understand. Before now, like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, I didn't have the type of confidence I have now. You
Mm,
know, now you can't look at me and say you look like a masquerade. Like, how? Like when I walk into a room, I feel like I shake the room. You can look at me and be like, oh my gosh, okay, who's that person? But you're never gonna look at me now. Like I have a different energy and I
mm-hmm,
function from inside out. So who I am on the inside has influenced what I am on the outside. And I feel like that's how people perceive me because the inner me has overwhelmed whatever thing I'm wearing, or there's respect. Like you can't look at me now and be like, oh, you look like a masquerade. Some people still don't understand. But when I'm
mm,
out of the country, I feel like I'm like a king, you know, like, okay, when I went for London Fashion Week, for instance, I
mm-hmm.
didn't really prepare. So I was wearing my dad's clothes. And like photographers will come and take, in my brain, I'm like, what am I wearing? Like, I'm not even wearing my best today. But I've just realized that my energy is consistent. Like, I've programmed myself to think like a king, walk like a king, like function like a king. So I feel like that's how you don't have a choice but to treat me like a king, because that's where I've placed myself. And that's what I like to tell people, like, it is you. It's what you put out, people would
Mm-hmm.
receive. You know, if you, even if you dress like a mad person, if you feel like you're a king, soon enough, people will start treating you like a king. So I feel like it's inside out. Now, the way people receive me is different from like years ago because my confidence is different as well. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that answers the question. I hope I'm not asking A when
So,
you're asking
no,
me.
no, you're making a lot of sense. You're making a lot of sense, and this is what the young people need to listen to. I feel that because of how our society is, where we're very much respect driven, particularly Yorubas, which is even worse than other cultures. We're very respect driven. So there's that feeling that, well, he's up there. I can't get there because there's somebody at the top. I'm still down. How will I struggle to get there? And that is so untrue. I mean, there's so many
It's
people like
untrue.
yourself that are doing great things. And like you said, it's about having confidence, believing in yourself, having that knowledge, and not being, and I think the key thing you said there is not being afraid to be yourself,
Yes, yes,
regardless of what people may say. I mean, I
yes.
know I cracked a joke about Derrile. Yeah, you might laugh at him and say the man is crazy, he's this and that, but look at him. He's on CNN, he's doing great things
Yeah, it's
around the
opening
place,
doors for him.
and he doesn't give a sugar about it. And that's what I feel
Yes,
that people should not give a sugar about it, and just do what they have to do.
yes. And the
Yeah.
Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Like your thoughts. If you think you're small, no matter what you have, you would always be small. But if you think you're big, you're gonna attract the right circumstances and the right opportunities to ensure that you're big. Like the universe is responding to how you think. Period. So how you think about yourself is who you are. Period. That's what I think.
And no, but you're right. I mean, I go to, if I just bring myself in very quickly here, and I'm just trying to say this applies to whether you're young or you're old, wherever you are, whatever field you are. If I go into a room to pitch for a job, my attitude when I walk in there is, you can come and say that you have done Beyonce's concert, or you have done Jay-Z's concert, you have done fashion show for Gucci. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the best. I don't care what you have done. I'm
Exactly.
the
Come
best.
on
I don't give
now.
a And then when you don't give it to me, my attitude is their loss. They'll come
Yes,
back to me.
yes,
That's how I
yes.
believe. And that's what I think you're portraying and what you're telling people. Am I right? Is that how you see things
Yeah,
as
that
well?
is it. That is it. And another thing I've learned is you're not for everyone. Like some people take rejection like, oh, they rejected me because I'm not good enough. No, they rejected me because I'm too good and God is protecting me. Like you're not for everyone. You're never gonna, if you have substance, you're never gonna be for everyone. And the earlier you recognize that, the better for you, because it will make you direct your energy. And I feel like I wrote some things down, but I'm gonna wait
Say
till we
them,
get
talk them, say them as
there.
you're going. Don't worry. We're throwing freely. This is not a structured
Yes,
meeting.
because when
We're
I was
throwing
thinking
freely.
about the topic, I was thinking, okay, if you want to go, it's not everyone that will go into the industry the same way I did. Some people would have to like go in themselves and blah blah blah. So the first thing I put down is purpose. A lot of times people don't have purpose. Like people don't even understand why they want to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Until you understand why, the how would never be clear. So I put down purpose because purpose preserves. Like when you're rejected, when you're down, when things are not going as planned, it's your purpose that will preserve you. It's
Mm-hmm.
you understanding why you're doing what you want to do that will make you hold on, like in those crazy times. And people need to understand, like if you want to get into the fashion industry, it's a fierce industry. Like
Right.
it's not for the faint at heart. It is fierce, it is competitive, it is you you just have to be mentally stable. It's tough. Like it's not, oh, I'm styling this celebrity. That's not what the industry is about. It's really tough. So I put that down. And then when you understand purpose, you'd understand your target audience. A lot of people do not recognize the target audience. You can't do every job. When you understand purpose, you
True.
know why you want to do what. And until
Mm-hmm.
you do that, your success is never going to be constant because you're just going to be like this. You know, you're never going to have a foundation. You're never going to be solid. So purpose gives you foundation and purpose preserves you as well. So that's the first point I put down. The second point I put down, this is so strange. I feel like a teacher. Okay.
Please teach and preach.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the second point I put down is you have to understand the power of your individuality, your authenticity, and the value you bring to the table. Value does not beg, period. Like when you understand your value, it gives you confidence because you know when I'm there, things get better. When I'm there, there's an upgrade. When you start thinking about yourself that way, you'll be in the right places. Because anywhere that there's no respect, they're not going to find you there. And please, young people, you need to understand that. Like a lot of people, you think the way to get high or get forward is begging, oh, please let me work for you, oh, please let me do this. I do not like, I'm not trying to underestimate the value of like interning or paying your dues. You have to do that. But you need to understand when you're moving mad, like when you're doing things that things that won't put respect on you. So you always have to be in the position of respect. Like even when you're serving, you also have to respect yourself. And you always have to remember that someone that doesn't respect you can never bring anything of value to you. Someone that doesn't respect you will never give you an opportunity that would change your life because they'll never know you can do it. They'll never believe in you. So always put yourself in the position of respect. So, and thrive for excellence. A lot of young people now are so impatient. Like,
Oh God,
if
tell me
the
about
job,
it. Seriously.
bruh, greatness is about process. If you cannot respect process, you can never be great. You know, even God respects process. That's why someone will be pregnant for 9 months. That's why things like that will happen because of process. Without foundation, you're never going to be solid. So don't want to come into the industry today and blow tomorrow. You know, you have to respect process and you have to have like the consciousness of excellence. I say something when I'm on set. A lot of people, when they know I'm the one styling, they're always like, "Ah, that girl's walala is too much," because I'm gonna push you till it's perfect. Like I don't like mediocrity. It's best or nothing. And I tell people like this thing you've done, don't just think about Lagos. Think about global excellence.
Yes.
You know, because you're a global champion, you're not a local champion. Like, if they were to take this thing to London, would it still make sense? If they were to take it to New York, would it still make sense? So that's how you should think. Even when you're starting small, have the world in mind. So that's something else I've put down. And then deliver based on how you're paid. Have a consistent level of excellence and integrity. Like, as long as you've agreed, you need to over deliver. So that's something else I put down. And have a network of productive people. When you're starting, you might not have the resources to pay everyone. For instance, if you're a designer, you might not have resources to pay a stylist, to pay a model, to pay a photographer and stuff like that. So learn how to do like productive collaborations. And the reason I'm saying productive is because it's not every collaboration that's productive. Some people just say, oh, you need to understand what you want to achieve. And if those people can help you achieve it. So that's why I put that down. Understand the power of productivity and know what you want to achieve before you even go into it. Create boundaries. I think I've said that. That's about respect. And believe in the power of manifestation. I say this all the time. Hard work doesn't open every door. There's some doors only grace can open. Period. Like, there's some things hard work can never do. There's some things only faith and God can do. Like, always leave the place for God. And I feel like that's the secret of everything I've done. You know, I'm hardworking, but I have faith. You know, I create everything from nothing. Always have faith and let your biggest source of inspiration be God. And if you make God the biggest source of your inspiration, you can never be stranded because God is inexhaustible. You know, sometimes people say, oh, as a creative, I have like mind blocks and everything. Make God your inspiration. God knows what your customer or your client wants to see. God knows the idea that would make you big. So if God is like your source, you have direction. Like, I just feel like it's easier to get where you want to be because God created you. He knows why you're on that path. So make sure God is the biggest source of your inspiration. You've done Pinterest, you've done your research, blah, blah, blah. But have a relationship with God. Let God be the biggest influence on your mind. And be very disciplined. Like, don't be the person they'll pay and they'll call your phone, no, they cannot reach you. Like, let your client be able, and my clients say that, like, once they pay me, they can sleep. Like, they can just go to bed because they know that I would always come through. Like, don't be the person that is full of excuses. Be the person that is full of results. Like, let people trust you, and trust is earned. You know, trust is it is earned. It is not just doesn't just fall on you. You have to earn it. So, and let people like have a track record of integrity, and don't let your loyalty just be because of money. Like, let your loyalty be because of the strength of character, you know. And don't forget people that have done you favors. And that's something else that I'm going to say, because a lot of people forget so easily, especially young people. Like, they forget so easily. Like, you always have to remember how you're climbing, who is making you climb, and honor them. Like, respect them. You always have to be respectful. It doesn't, even if you've blown past everybody in the whole world, like, you always have to be respectful. God resists the proud and he promotes the humble. You always have to be humble. You always have to be respectful. Don't let your head be too big that you're floating in the air. Like, so I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Listen, this is what we brought you on for. We wanted you to talk. This is what people need to hear. Do you understand? I mean, we see people like Kayla that have joined. You know, these are
Kayla,
celebrities that I know that you've worked with or you know very well. I see my friend there, Ola, that is on. You know, so people are joining from all over. So they come here, Teni, because they want to hear you talk. So please talk. Right. Don't be afraid about it, okay? It's not me. Right. They didn't come for me. If I disappear from the screen and you're just talking, they'll be fine. They will not even bother. But let's talk about style territory. I mean, some of the things you said that are amazing, they're insightful, they're the sort of things that people need to understand and know about. But besides you as an individual, All right. You have also built up a business. So, which is your company is called Style Territory, whether that's you as
Mhm.
an individual or you as a brand. And I like to, I kind of view you as a brand. I view Style Territory more as a brand than as a company, but I'm sure you're correct
Right.
me as going along. At what point did you feel that you were going to start your own business? Because as you said, you started as a fashion editor working on a magazine. What
Right.
inspired you to move from doing 9 to 5 job to being a fashionpreneur in the fashion industry?
I feel like you have to be in tune with your spirit. So after I resigned as a fashion editor, I went to London for a bit, and I wasn't just feeling fulfilled. I'm like, okay, I'm coming back, and then I took up the job of a TV producer
Mm-hmm.
at Hip TV. I was producing trending on Hip TV. I was producing it, I was styling it, I was the script writer, I was the co-editor, like I was doing everything. And that's what I'm saying. Like everything you put in is your training, is the training for your future. Like don't ever feel like, oh, they're not even paying me enough for what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're training yourself because everything you learn is always gonna remain with you. So hard work doesn't kill. That's what my mom says. So after that, I did that for a while, but I just got bored because I felt like I can do so much more. Like I felt like I'm too talented for this, and it wasn't giving me a channel to
Mm-hmm.
like completely flow. So I didn't have savings. I didn't have, not like I piled up savings. And you always know, you always have to learn how to take risks because I didn't have, it was just faith. I literally just jumped out of the plane. I resigned. Like, I just went to work. I'm just like, okay, I'm done. It was that day I knew I was going to resign. Like, I didn't plan it. I just went to work and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I feel like I can, like, I'm not creative. So I resigned and I'm like, okay, after I got home, I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do in my life? Like, and I just said, okay, so I'm just going, okay, I'll just start my business. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have clients. I didn't, I, I just had zero money in my account, zero clients, zero everything. I was literally starting from scratch. But I had God. And that's everything you need. Once you have God, you have everything because God knows where the resources are. God has everything you need. And when you're connected to God, you're connected to the biggest flex, you know? So somehow, and the thing is, I've never gone to meet anyone to say, yo, you know what, I'm a stylist, come and work with me. I've never done that. Like, grace is my biggest PR. The Holy Ghost is my biggest PR. And that's why I bend all the way backwards to make sure that I bring the best because I never want to let God down. You know, God believes in me and that's why he brings all these people and I never want to let him down. So, okay, okay, I'm a stylist now. Oh, let's go, let's do this. And somehow, some way, my first client, I think it was, I call her Sister Da. She's a gospel artist. She's
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest. She sang Only You Can Do What No Man Can Do. Yeah, so she was like, oh, she told my sister, oh, your sister is always dressing up nice, so maybe she should come and start one of my videos. I'm like, yes. But at that point, nobody felt like I was a newbie. Because when I have meetings with you, I'll dress up, I'll speak well, and I always know what I'm saying. And that's another thing. Like, you always have to know what you're saying. So, and she asked me, like, oh, how much are you going to charge? So I went back home because I didn't know, like, I didn't know how to charge. I didn't know what anyone was charging. So I just, as in something big, I just said, okay, you know what, something, I just gave her one big price. Bam. Like, it was 3 times my salary because
Uh-huh.
that's how I was measuring it. It was it was 3 times my salary, and in my mind I'm like, she's never going to pay, but the Nigeria, they'll price. So when I told her, she was like, okay, we can do that. Hey, I said we can do that. But when I was in the meeting, I maintained my composure. I was like, oh, okay, oh, no problem, so I'll get back to you. When I got back home, I entered my room. I was like, I'm rich, I'm rich. Like, I was so happy. And I wasn't just happy. I was like, okay, so that means I actually have value. For someone to want to pay me that much, she's not seen anything I've done. Like, so that means there's something about me. And whatever this thing is, I need to like go deep into it. So I stayed up nights after nights after nights to do my research. I watched all her videos. I'm like, because I have to top it, you know. I watched all her videos, and when I finally went back to like give her the concept, she was like mind blown. It was so good. And when we did the video, like, the gospel world, like, it literally just shook. They're like, oh, who is this guy? I'm like, hey, God, oh, this is not me. You know, and that's how it started. And that gave me like extra confidence, because I'm like, okay, so I can actually do this thing. And that's how it came. That's how it started. And that's how from there, like, God will just bring this person, bring this person, bring this person. And I don't charge low. I'm not cheap. You know, I don't. So when people come, I know it's God, you know. And I've been blessed to do like projects I've dreamed about, you know. And my life is just God's way. I'm just following God's direction, and I work hard. I do my research, you know. So yes.
You know what is so beautiful about what you're saying here? I mean, we can see quite clearly, anybody listening to you, is that you're a spiritual person. You have faith in God. And God showed his reward to you by that the first job he gave you was gospel. Was God
Hey, that's true. I never even thought about it like that.
Doors. Yes, God opened the doors by giving you something which appreciated him. And I believe that since then, because you have shown that faithfulness, that has been something that has enabled you to continue to grow, continue to be sought after. And I mean, I think one of the things that I really love about what you say is, I am not cheap. If you believe in yourself and what you do, yes, those that want you will pay for you. Those that cannot afford you will aspire to pay for you in the future.
Yes.
Because that's what happens. That's okay. I'll tell you, style, territory. I can't afford you now, but I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. You see people like Kyla coming on board to support you, saying how respectful you are, you know, all the things that you do and stuff like that.
Thank you, Kayla.
You know, I may not have been able to see the comments, but there's so many people that are saying so much good stuff about you and stuff like that.
So, thank you.
Okay, break it down for me and for those listening a bit. Okay. I mean, you spoke about how you got your first job. But what is style territory? What do you actually do? What is a stylist? What does style territory do? Why are you able to charge so much compared to somebody else? Besides your own self-confidence, what is it about style territory that makes people want to come to you? So people want to understand what style territory is.
Okay. I'm going to start from my own inspiration, because that's what influences everything. Like, style territory is basically showing the excellence of God through fashion.
Okay.
Like, showing what is possible. Like,
be more specific. When you say showing more specific, what does that mean? That means you go and buy me a shirt, you give me a pair of trousers. Does it mean you visualize the colors in my video shoot?
So
what? Be a bit more
with my styling technique, I never repeat concepts.
Okay.
Like, I never, like, you can go through I have my signature. When you see my job, you would know it's me, but I never repeat concepts. And that just shows like the power of being deliberate about my work and the effort I put in, because it's difficult. Sometimes, even if people won't see the job, like, because I have some private clients, you might be tempted to say, that thing I did for this person, let me just do it for that person. I do not repeat concepts. That's one. Or everything I do has a different touch. Like, it's out of the box. You can see effort. It's effortless, but you can see effort. And everything I do is not just, there's global excellence. I believe when I style Nigerians, I see them as global Africans. And whoever person I'm styling, if you check their previous jobs, you would notice a change. So it's like my dream is to push everyone I work with to their fullest potential. Like, I don't impose my style on anyone. I push you to your fullest potential. So that's literally what I do. And I make sure that anything I'm doing for you has global relevance. Because why are you doing anything if it doesn't have global relevance? So that is Stout Territory. Stout Territory is the company that pushes you to your fullest potential, doing it in a way that is out of the box and in a way that has global relevance and excellence. And in a way that makes you understand that God is. Because I'm a Christian and my ideas come from God. So God is.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, okay, but me, I'm sorry, I'm a bushman. You have to accept it. I'm from Ondo, so I don't always understand. As a man, yeah, would I come to somebody like you? Why would I need you, or do I not need you? Explain to me. What I'm trying to get from you is, what does a stylist do? Me, I know how to dress up. Why do I need you? I don't need you. I
The
can put on
reason
clothes. I
you
know how to wear
need
my
me,
trousers.
the reason you need me is because whatever thing you're doing, whatever your career is, I can use style to literally change your life. With the way when I'm involved in your life and I handle your style and I handle your brand, everything about you will change. Your confidence will change. The way people perceive you will change. The way you talk will change. The way you carry yourself will change. I am a confidence booster. That's what my company does. I'm a life changer. That's what my company does. Check anyone I've worked with. Like, when you have the Stout Territory touch, your life changes. The way you start to see yourself changes, because when I style you and you see what you can become, it makes you think differently. It makes you see yourself differently. And I elevate your level of excellence. So after I've worked with you, you can't go back to being a local champion. If you were a local champion, you would always aspire for more because you worked with Stout Territory. And that's how I see it, in a very humble way.
Hey, okay. When I win the lottery, I know where I'm coming to, so you can boost me, change my life, give me even more confidence. And when they see me, Jesus. Why didn't I meet you when I was like the age of 20? Hey, all the babes would have been asking, man, I'm Star Territory, man. Can you see me? Oh, yeah, becoming. No, but I mean, that on a more serious note, I mean, it's good for people to understand exactly what you do and what you can achieve, because that also explains why you charge what you charge. Do you understand? So, being a young person in the business,
Okay.
yeah. What are the top three things that you've had to struggle with, particularly with breaking into the industry?
Okay. The first thing I would say is the temptation of doing it how it's done. You know?
Okay, what do you mean by explain, please? Explain.
Okay, when I say that, there's something about, I don't know if it's Nigeria, or if it's just the world in general. There's something about systematic norms, like, oh, this is how we do it here, you know.
Yes.
And you coming as an individual and trying to change that, it's a lot, you know. Like, oh, this is how we've done it for years and that is how it is.
Honestly,
And
I
you're
can
like,
so relate to you.
and you're like, I'm not gonna do it like that, because I want more, you know. I want more, period. Like, I'm not gonna do it like that. And some people misunderstand that. They think it's arrogance. They think, oh, so you think you're better than everybody else, so why can't you think so? A lot of people have that, or maybe she's proud, or she's arrogant, or what does she think she is, or she thinks she's better than everyone else, because you won't just agree to settle. Like, I wasn't created to settle. I was created to like build my own table, you know. So that's something I've experienced a lot, you know. Or maybe when you're working with a celebrity and it's like, oh, this is what it is. Like, a lot of people are scared of change. Like, a lot of people are scared to do something different because they don't know how the public will perceive it. But I'm like, you're meant to tell the public who you are. They're not meant to tell you what you should be. So a lot of times when you're working with like set organizations or like celebrities, there's this fear of change. There's this fear of, "Ah, this thing you're saying is good though, but what will people say?" And like, what's your business what people are gonna say? Like, if it's good, a lot of people don't, like the majority, they don't know what they want. And that's just the truth. Like, they don't know. Sometimes you think, oh, this person is going to get backlash for what they're doing, but you see people praising them because they don't know what they want. If you put your life based on that, you're ever gonna be confused, you know. You need to stamp your ground and have an identity. And I try to give my clients an identity. So it gets quite frustrating when you're trying to do that and they don't want to accept it just because of the fear of what people will say. You're not thinking of the greater good. You're just thinking of what people will say. That could be quite frustrating. And another thing, the last thing I would say is what? I think that's it, really. I'm not saying I don't face like other challenges, but those are the things that get to me, you know, that are like quite heavy, you know. And the case, no. Another thing is having a good heart.
Yeah,
in a world where people are in survival mode. It is insane. Like, you can't even understand. It is insane what people will do just to try to get ahead of you. I'm like, I'm not even in a race with you because I'm not competing with anyone, but it's insane what people will do. Like, it's insane loving people and trying to guard your heart at the same time in this kind of industry. That one too, like, people have shown me that one too is a lot, but it's still something that I'm learning how to, you know, how to have a good heart, like how to maintain your good heart in this kind of industry.
I think it's very important to be yourself. I mean, because I've seen a similar sort of things to you where you just feel that if I start to do my own, we will scatter this place. But you then say, okay, let me be calm. Let me help people. I mean, I'm fortunate. I started in the industry when there were no black people around. There was no real entertainment industry, you know. So I've seen so many people that have come through me at one stage or the other and have gone on and done good things. And I think what has helped me to today is that if I call upon them, regardless of how great they are now, they will at least pick up my phone call. But I'm sure there are some people that when you see the number, it's like, hey, they have sent the devil for me. Oh, devil has come. You start praying because you do not want to answer that phone call or have anything to do with that person. What I want to ask you is this, all right? This is an amazing session. Guys, do you still want Teni to do a few more minutes later? Because, you know, these people, they shut us down after 1 hour. Are you okay? Have you got enough? Please send your messages, thumbs up or claps or whatever. And then I want to know if you want to be asking us some questions, because none of you have answered questions. Teni, you are just bamboozled them with all your answers. Normally, they'll be throwing questions back. It's like we have answered these questions before they even asked it. All right, so guys, if you want Head to come back a few more minutes, because we've got a few more. I can see all the thumbs up. Can you see them coming up? So in a few minutes, we're going to wind it down. There's a big question I want to ask you, but I want to get it to you for the second part of the show. All right.
Okay.
Because that's a really important question as far as I'm concerned. All right. And that is about the industry. People believe that it's hard to break into this industry, that we're like a cabal. We're like the mafia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Particularly for the young
to an
people.
extent.
So I want to come back for you for that. So guys, what I want to do now is just log off now. I'm coming straight back, so don't disappear. You see, they're all clapping for you. Thumbs up. Teni, they're loving what you're doing.
Thank
Kyla
you.
says she's
Thank you
making a lot
so
of
much.
sense.
Thank you.
These are the kind of
Thank
comments.
you so much.
What people are loving. Don't forget, this is not just Nigerians that are here. We've got people from different parts of Africa, the UK. I've seen so many different people that are here. So, this is very much an international platform. Elizabeth Adjacent says, I always love to hear her talk. These are the kind of comments that they are there. You're an inspiration to a lot of people.
Thank you.
And you're going to have to remember that. All right, guys, so I'm shutting off now. Please come back in a few seconds. All right, don't disappear. We're going to have part 2 with the amazing, the fantastic, the beautiful, the stylish, the effervescent Teni of Style Territory.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, we're coming straight back. Please do not disappear. If you can tell your friends to come and join us in the next few seconds, please tell them we're coming straight back now with part 2 with Teni of Style Territory.